Well, an Alabama grandmother is making some headlines tonight after receiving a kidney transplant from a pig. It is just the third such transplant in the United States.
Yeah, the first two recipients passed away just weeks after their transplants, but something about this patient is giving doctors some hope that this kind of transplant might be more successful. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to explain. Hey there, Doc.
Hey, Karen and Damon. Yeah, so the biggest difference is the first two recipients were gravely ill. Now, while Towana Looney wasn't able to receive a human kidney, she's actually in better condition than those previous patients, giving her body a better chance of actually bouncing back from the surgery. Now, backstory is Towana actually donated one of her kidneys to her mom back in 1999, but a few years later, she developed high blood pressure during pregnancy, and then her remaining kidney failed. She has spent the last 8 years on dialysis waiting for a transplant.
It was a moment Towana Looney and her doctor will never forget.
First, she sat me down. She said, "Towana, I may have you a kidney." I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "But it's not a human kidney."
The kidney was from a genetically modified pig. Towana had developed too many antibodies in her blood to qualify for a human kidney.
I didn't have any other options. This was my last option due to the fact that my blood had 100% antibodies. So that left me not able to accept a human kidney.
The transplant was performed on November 25th at NYU Langone Transplant Institute in New York. Dr. Robert Montgomery led the team of surgeons.
She's received the transplant at just the right time before we get into the really long-term morbidity of dialysis. And this is really the only possibility for her to have a transplant.
He said this marks an important step as scientists get ready for formal studies of animal to human transplants expected to begin next year. For Towana, it's a new chance at life and a chance to help others.
There's a lot of risks because this is new research, new ground that hadn't been explored yet.
Now, Tawana's doctor predicts in less than a decade, pig to human organ transplants like hers could actually become routine. Right now, there's more than 100,000 people in the U.S. transplant list and more waiting for a kidney. Thousands will die waiting and many more need the transplant and will never qualify.
This is fascinating. So how is Towana doing?
Well, so the kidney actually did start working right away, so just as expected. Now, doctors say she's doing well, and the kidney seems to be functioning as intended. She's recuperating in New York until she's well enough to return to her home in Alabama.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right. And
It's
in
the
10 years,
future.
it's going to be a little more commonplace, they're guessing.
That is the current estimate, yes.
All right. Thanks, Doc.
Interesting. Thanks, Doc.